Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first podcast episode of Wild Mother's Way. My name is Shannon Marie, and I'm super excited to have you here. So, a little bit about me. I'm a mother, I'm an aspiring author, I'm an artist, a yogi, a homeschooler, and a lover of all things rooted in nature and deep connection. I've been a mother for over a decade now, and during this time, I've been exploring how to live in harmony with the rhythms of the earth and with the wisdom of our ancestors. And I'm really excited to share everything I've learned and all of my practices with you. We're going to dive into topics like natural parenting, sleep, homeschooling, creative living, and travel. And really just how to navigate the beautiful, messy world of motherhood with intention and hopefully a little bit of grace. But more than that, I really want this podcast to grow to become a community. I want to build a space where we can inspire and learn from each other. My vision is that it's a movement. It becomes a way of life for myself and other mothers. And it's really about reconnecting with the natural rhythms of life, trusting our intuition, and embracing the wisdom of those who came before us. So one of the reasons I really wanted to start this whole movement, this journey, is because honestly, I feel really disconnected from the way that motherhood is often portrayed online, or even worse, the way I witness it experienced by people that I know. And, I've witnessed and seen portrayed isolation in motherhood, extreme bouts of depression and anxiety, things becoming really overly complicated that don't need to be complicated. Some people become really competitive with other mothers, and, shouldn't be that way. We're a community of women and we're all in this together. And one of the other things I see often portrayed online is perfection and an Instagram worthy life and an Instagram worthy journey of motherhood. And I just want to really dive into, promote, and invite other mamas to return to something so much simpler, something way more connected and more aligned with nature. So the real seed that started Wild Mother's Way actually came from thinking about sleep. So I'm pregnant with my third baby, and I'm still co-sleeping with my 7-year-old and 10-year-old. Mostly just out of comfort and joy. It's not really a need for any of us. It's just something that we enjoy. We love snuggling and reading books together and falling asleep all warm and cozy. And I've been thinking about, this new baby coming and how those nighttime routines are really going to shift a lot. And, they're going to change for not only my daughters, but for me as well. And thinking about the potential of sleepless nights and all of that. I witnessed my sister-in-law become a mother 2 years ago. She's a beautiful mother, and my nephew is amazing, and I love them both. And I witnessed her, quite honestly, struggle a lot with sleep and among other motherhood challenges. But sleep was a huge one for her, which really surprised me because she was co-sleeping. And during that same time period, I had spoken with another mother who sleep trained all of her kids. And this was like groundbreaking to me because I didn't ever believe in that. And it's not like I was judging people who did that. I just felt like it wasn't the right thing to do for me and my kids. And to hear her reasons and her experience of why she chose to sleep train her kids was so that she could be a better mother. She's like, I knew that if I didn't get sleep, I would not be okay during the day to be there for my kids. So yeah, for her to sleep train her kids, she had to be okay with them crying. And that was something that was really difficult for me as a new mother. I never wanted my babies to cry. So it was eye-opening to me. Every mother makes choices with intention. And I feel like in the world today of social media and so much information available to us, like, it can be very difficult for moms to make decisions because there is so much information available. Whereas I started this motherhood journey 10 years ago, I still had plenty of access to the internet, and social media wasn't really what it is today, but I still had access to it and utilized it. And I wasn't overloaded with so much decision making fatigue. Like, I didn't have that many voices in my head telling me which way to do things. And I feel like that's what the world has come to, and what I've watched these more modern mothers, I guess I could say, these newer moms experience, like, a lot of guilt or anxiety or worry about what is the best way to do things. Because you'll have one mom say you must co-sleep for the health and protection and safety and love of your baby. And you'll have another mom say, I sleep trained my kids and it was the best thing I ever did as a mother because I'm such a better mother because of it, is her belief, right? And that's true for her. So that just goes to say that, there's so many different right answers, and there's so many different ways to do things correctly. And you can't just simply Google something and get the result, like, motherhood is such an individual journey, and it's individual for each child. Like, you can have the same mother mothering 10 different kids and have to figure out different processes and routines for each child as well. So there's just a lot of factors and nuances that go into this. Anyway, I wanted to write a guide on sleep because I felt that it's this area that is so overly complicated, and, like, the mainstream advice is not great in my opinion. So yeah, I just wanted to put my voice out there and my perspective and what worked for me, and, my experience with having newborns and sleeping and co-sleeping was not rocket science, and it was not stressful, and I slept plenty fine, and it was great. And I feel like maybe the only downside is that, hey, I still am sharing that space with my older children, but we enjoy that time. Like, that's a choice. I'm making that choice. If I wanted to kick them out into their own bedroom, I very well could, and I have done so many times over the years. But the majority of the time, I am sharing that space with them out of, just love for them and myself. And honestly, like, I know that this journey of motherhood is so much shorter than it sounds. Like, I'm already 10 years in with my first baby. She's 10 and a half right now. So, I maybe have another 7.5, 8, maybe 10 years with her in my house, which the first 10 flew by. So I'm sure the second 10 will as well. Anyway, I just really want to, like, suck up and enjoy this season of motherhood, because I know there will come a time when I'm an empty nester and an old lady and praying to become a grandmother so that I can hold babies again. So yeah, I'm just really, like, embracing and soaking up like a little sponge being a mom and all of the phases that come along with that. So, long story short, I wanted to create a sleep guide, and I thought I should have a brand that I can launch this from, or a platform that I can launch this guide from, and a place that I can share this stuff that I'm really passionate about, including free birth is a huge one for me. I'm so excited to talk about that on this platform, and currently writing a book about that. It's called Birthright, and I really hope it's ready shortly after the birth of my third child. But I'm letting it evolve naturally, and I have a handful of other creative pursuits that I'm going through. So I'm trying to work a little bit on each one at a time. So all that goes to say, I don't have all the answers. I know nobody has all the answers. And I know that each mama has something so valuable to share. And that's why I want to create this community. I want the wisdom that we all have to share to be available to us in an uplifting, encouraging, and inspiring place. You know, this year, we're in January of 2025. I have this intention to just put all of my creative ideas out into the universe with no fear, without holding back, without being a perfectionist about everything. Because that's what I've done for the past almost 10 years. I have been this wonderful, amazing mother. I will pat myself on the back for that. But I am this type of person who has so many creative, juicy ideas, and I love to write and draw, and I'm an artist and an author and all of these things that I just overflow with and am from the inside out. Yet I don't have a great execution of bringing those things to life, of completing the task of the business side of entrepreneurship. There's so many things that have happened over the past 10 years that have held me back from launching creative ideas, and I just want to be done with that. So I'm kicking this off. Happy New Year. It's 2025. Wild Mother's Way will have blogs, it will have podcasts, it will have guides available, some free and some paid because they're so super valuable. Which reminds me, I do have a free guide available on my website right now. I just put it together. It is a handwriting course for kiddos, all about the month of January, where we have one poem for each week. It's very Waldorfy. I'm kind of a Waldorf do-it-yourself homeschool mom. I make up a lot of their assignments on my own and don't often follow a curriculum. But this handwriting guide they love, and I love this process with them. We spend 15 minutes every morning doing this. It involves handwriting, which they didn't love until I started doing it this way, and kind of drawing a picture. So here's this Waldorfy free handwriting guide available on my website. You can download it, you can print it out. It's super great. You're gonna love it. So thank you for listening to the very first episode of Wild Mother's Way. It means so much to me that you're here, and you can find me on Instagram at Wild Mother's Way, where my intention is to build a beautiful community of like-minded mamas like yourself. And while you're there, you can click the link in my bio. That will send you to my website. And next week, the podcast I have prepared is all about navigating the final weeks of pregnancy, finding rest, creativity, and connection. Motherhood is one of the wildest, most transformative journeys we will ever take. It's messy, it's beautiful, it's challenging, and it's so sacred. I want you to remember that you are enough, and you are doing the sacred work of raising the next generation, and that in itself is extraordinary.